I want to say thanks to each of you, not just for sharing your time with us, but for sharing your insights with us. And I know I have a lot of questions. I know the members of the committee do as well. So let me recognize myself for 5 minutes, and then we'll plow on in. Let me start with Congressman Davis and Ambassador Roemer. Both of you indicated that we have a real problem with staff retention, and that came up from a number of folks. Turnover is high, much higher than we see in the private sector, and was hoping you could talk about how the constant churn of losing talented staff affects this institution, what we can do about it, and what it means on behalf of our ability to have impact for the American people.
Let me start. Lobbyists play an important role in this in writing bills and presenting it to committee staff and offering a perspective that maybe the members or other staff members haven't. But we need committee staff that has historical and institutional knowledge and is better able to evaluate and second guess some of the language that's put before them. That has an institutional knowledge, historical knowledge of what's gone on before, has maybe dealt with these problems before. The constant churn isn't just a matter of pay. It's member turnover. It's the fact that committees are constantly churning. People move back and forth. But it is an important part. It's also an important part in being able to attract people in the first place. Look, money isn't the only motivator. A lot of people come to Capitol Hill not to make money, but to make a difference. But you can only do that so long sometimes with other pressures. This is a very expensive place to live. So I think we lose out at this going up against the executive branch and going up against some of the best talent from Wall Street and K Street and writing some of this legislation, and we're losing out, and we need to get with it. It's one thing to limit your own salaries, but I think we're hurting the institution by putting that pay cap on our staff.
Mr. Chairman, I think this is one of your major problems. When you have this retention problem and turnover problem, and you compare it to the private sector, and it's higher than the private sector, then you are losing the expertise and the people that are working here that bring you good ideas, that save taxpayers money, that have institutional experience, and you're ceding that experience and those ideas to K Street and to the lobbying community and to the special interest community. And that kind of turnover does not benefit the House of Representatives and the Senate when it is significant. Secondly, when we think about what that turnover means, let's think about it in terms of some of the committees that you all serve on. If you serve on the Armed Services Committee, for example, and you're dealing with procurement issues of major defense systems that cost the taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars, and you can employ a committee or a staff assistant for X amount of money per year, and they come up with good hearings, good ideas to save the taxpayer money. There might be questions that hold the Pentagon more accountable on a particular weapon system. Look at the kind of savings that brings the people of this country and the confidence it inspires in us when you hire great staff and you have great members. So I think it's a real investment in this institution to have that quality of people here, that they have a stepped approach within this system to be promoted and have pay raises if that's what you decide here. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.